recording the meeting. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
For the new people especially, welcome to Kane Interior Design. This is the first time ever we're doing a virtual orientation. Not that we've really done a lot of orientations in the past, and you guys have probably done a general Kane orientation, but this is really kind of the first time that we're doing a Kane Interior Design orientation specifically. So welcome everybody. My name is MJ Divino, and we have 3 full-time faculty here in interior design. I'm the coordinator, and Professor Linda O'Shea is the second full-time professor, and we have a brand new temporary lecturer, which means full-time faculty member, which is Natalie Holmes Mitchell, which I don't know if you guys have the same page numbers, but she's on the first page. For both Professor O'Shea and Professor Holmes Mitchell are on the first page. So we want to welcome Natalie first and foremost. I personally, as a coordinator, want to welcome all of you, especially the new students. And I wanted to start it off by asking Professor O'Shea, if you wanted to say anything about the transfer of the coordinator position. Yeah.
Sure. Welcome everybody. It's so great to see all of you, and I really am going to click through all these 3 pages so I can see more of your faces. I've been at Kane for 25 years. Can't even believe that. Going into my 26th year, and this year was a year of transition in terms of the interior design program coordinator. So I have MJ as our new program coordinator, and I am so thrilled to be able to pass on, excuse me, all my efforts in the past 25 years to build the program to someone that I'm so proud to call a colleague. So I don't know if all of you know, but I have moved to New Hope, Pennsylvania. So I live now out in the country with trees and cows and horses. And so I'm kind of winding down and really looking forward to teaching, but really looking forward to having MJ deal with all that other stuff. So he's been doing a great job, and I'm proud to have him as a colleague. And Natalie is an alumni of our program, and I'm really happy to have her on board. But I'm still here. You know, I'm the one that's got a lot of stuff in my head that is accumulated over 25 years. So one of our goals this year is for MJ and I to work closely together to get some of that from my head to his head. But so it's all good. But any of those I need, can you fix, can you help? He's your guy. Okay. So obviously I'm joking with you. I'll always help my advisees, but MJ is going to be that person that, puts out all the fires that I've been putting out for 25 years. So I'm really excited about the transition. So.
And, so technically we're still in summertime. So Professor O'Shea is not doing advising yet until September 1st. But starting on September 1st, if your last name begins with A through L, I will be your advisor for registering for your classes and things like that. And if your last name begins with M through Z, Professor O'Shea is your advisor. Okay, so all questions that have to do with your classes go to your advisor, which is only me and Professor O'Shea.
And just to clarify, so it's not for lack of caring, it's for lack of not getting a paycheck. So I am not employed by the university for 2.5 months. So I don't receive any kind of compensation. MJ's a 12-month employee, which actually is working out really nicely as the coordinator. So that's why things are being deflected towards MJ. When we get back on September 1st, if you're my advisee, I'm here for you 100%. But that's the reason why I'm incognito until September 1st.
And Natalie, did you want to say anything about this new position that you've been thrust into?
Well, I'm very excited. I want to welcome everybody. I'm excited to be back at Kane, albeit virtually most of the time. I graduated in 2009. It was my second degree, and I'm still continuing to work in the industry, but I'm definitely happy to be transitioning across to teaching and working with all you young designers, and I'm really looking forward to getting to know you all.
Okay, I'm trying to see also, Nikisha, are you here?
I'm here.
Okay, so for all the other questions that myself and Professor Shea and Natalie can't answer, we have the Department of Design, which is represented by Nikisha Blandon. Now, if we were to be, if we were to be in the building, she is in office number, it's 521, correct?
Yes.
Right. So, you know, whenever there are questions that I can't answer for you, I will always send you over to Nikisha because she always has the other answers. So, Nikisha, did you want to say anything about, you know, taking care of the students' needs for them?
Sure. I just want to say welcome to all the incoming freshmen and welcome back to returning students. I'm basically here to help if you guys need assistance with registration for courses, direction for financial aid, health services, Res Life, anything across the board. And you guys can email me at design@kane.edu. So if you see that email pop up, more than likely it's me. I'm giving you guys email blasts on information that's going on in the department, on campus, FYIs from the college. So definitely I advise you guys to check those emails when they get sent out. And if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to contact me. I'll respond to your email within 24 hours.
And just so you know, without Nikisha, none of the students or the faculty would be able to do our jobs. So we owe a lot to her. Thank you, Nikisha. Okay. So I just wanted to start to, let me test. Is Rose Ganella here? Are you here, Rose? On the phone, maybe? Okay, well, so Rose Ganella is the executive director of the Michael Graves College, or of the Robert Bush School of Design.
Is the associate dean of Michael Graves College.
Okay,
Yep.
and you know, she basically oversees all the stuff that has to do with all the design programs, and so she's another helpful resource for you guys. Again, you know, without seeing her picture or whatever, she's probably just an email address to you guys. And then also, I had invited the dean of the Michael Graves College, David Money, but I don't think he was able to make it as well. Okay, so the administration is basically Nikisha in the Department of Design, Rose Ganella, the associate dean, and David Money, the actual dean, and you know, he has an assistant as well. Okay. What I wanted to start off the meeting in terms of you guys as the students was to say that, you know, first and foremost, whatever we do this whole semester, the most important thing is going to be safety. So, you know, I'm sure a lot of you are coming to this meeting wondering about how your classes are going to be run. Do you have to wear a mask? Is there going to be social distancing and all that? Hopefully you've all already gotten the email from the new president of Kane University saying that the first 3 weeks of the semester up until September 21st, everybody is going to be 100% remote, okay? So even if on KaneWise it says hybrid or face-to-face, everybody is remote for those first 3 weeks. From September 21 up until Thanksgiving, you are only going to have the hybrid or face-to-face version of your classes if it says so in KaneWise, and if your professors are okay with doing that. So some of the classes on KaneWise say that it's either hybrid or face-to-face, but if the professor chooses to go 100% remote for the entire semester, then that's the way that the class is going to be run. Okay, we are going to err on the side of safety, like I mentioned before. And to us, safety means learning online. Now, please understand that nobody thinks that this is the best way to learn at the college level, especially for interior design. But of course, we'd much rather that everybody stays healthy and alive than try to risk it by having in-person classes for no reason. All right. Also, you know, I'm a big proponent of social distancing in the sense that, yeah, it's a tough time that we're going through right now. But if we bear through it right now, hopefully, when we can get back to a normal state of, you know, in-person classes, a normal state of doing things a lot sooner than before. I really think that as a country, we kind of came out of the pandemic too quickly, going out into public too quickly, and we wasted a lot of that social distancing that we did when the pandemic first hit. Okay, so I'm just asking everybody to have the patience to work through this whole online and remote situation, and hopefully that means we'll get through it a lot faster than had been originally planned. You know, for all we know, a vaccine could be developed tomorrow, and then all of this will go away even that much faster. Okay, now specifically for the students, the message that I want to say to you guys is we got a taste of what it was like to do online education last semester, and it was difficult. And it was specifically difficult on the mental health aspect of what we do. And I know students came to me and said that they have a really hard time learning online. So the message that I want to say to you guys, to everybody, but especially the students, is that this is a time for self-motivation. The key concept behind getting through your educations is self-motivation. If you are going to have a problem with motivating yourself to go and watch the videos for your classes or participate in a live broadcast, it is going to be very difficult to get through this semester. Okay, but in saying that, all these people that you see on these screens here, we're up to 4 screens now, we are the resources for each other to help each other out. So the worst thing that you can do is if you start feeling down about the fact that you're learning online, the worst thing you can do is just hole yourself up in your room and not express it. Okay, so if you're feeling worried, if you're feeling frustrated or even depressed, talk to somebody. Talk to your friends, your classmates, talk to whoever you live with. Talk to me if you have to, but don't just isolate yourself. You know, we're trying to do social distancing, but we do not want to do social isolation. So, you know, thank God we're in this age and time where we can do a Zoom meeting like this, a virtual meeting. If you can imagine, you know, when I was in college, and if we had a pandemic back then, we just would have stopped learning. There would have been no option for us to have classes online because that technology didn't even exist. So I think we should consider ourselves fortunate that a pandemic hits and we are still able to go to school with each other. All right. So, you know, of course, there's the whole negative side of it that people are getting sick and we're worried about getting sick. But the positive side of it is we can still continue to do what we need to do as long as we make the extra effort to make it happen. Okay. Then the biggest portion of what we want to try to do tonight is that I'm going to have each of the faculty members tell you how they are going to run their classes. All right. So over on the chat, so if your chat is not open, open it up. I am going to type out the name of the professor and the class which they are teaching. Okay. Because the reason I want to do that is if you look at CaneWise right now, not all of the professors are correctly linked to the classes that they're teaching. So for instance, Natalie is brand new, so she's not even listed on Kane-wise, and she has 4 classes. Okay, so whoever you thought was teaching your class might not be the actual instructor for that class. Okay, so I'm going to go in the order, in the numerical order of the classes. So for those of you that are freshmen or first-year students, your classes are going to show up first, and then we'll go down, and eventually the seniors will be at the later stage of the presentations. Okay, so with that, we are starting with intro, INTD 1100, and 2 of those are taught by Professor O'Shea, and 1 is taught by Natalie. And so we're going to start with INTD 1100-01 and 02 are Professor O'Shea.
Everybody, you know, it's kind of emotional. I'm scrolling through these pages and 4 pages and seeing all your beautiful faces. And sorry we can't see you in person next week, but I want you to know that we've all worked really hard to make sure that we give you the best education we can during this weird time in the world. I wanted to say one thing, because MJ talked about self-motivation, and I just think that you need to know that the faculty of this program are the most caring, committed people that you could ever have in your life in terms of your education. So if you're struggling, if you need something, if you're falling behind, if you're overwhelmed, ask. You just need to come to us and say, this is what's happening with me. I mean, I know all of us we just care about you so much, and we just want you to succeed. That's our #1 goal, is for you to succeed. So please ask, because this is weird for all of us, right? And it's overwhelming in many ways for all of us. So please know that we're here, we care, we're committed, and we want you to succeed. So please always ask, okay? I'm gonna talk about intro in a second, but I was actually looking up a couple quotes that I thought were kind of cool about motivation. And I found 3 that I just want to share because it's a great way to start the semester. 1, creativity takes courage. I thought, well, that's cool. That's an interesting thing to think about, right? 2, I'm not here to be average, I'm here to be awesome. So keep yourself motivated. Try to be awesome, the best that you can in all your design solutions in all your classes. And the last one I really loved, it said there are 3 responses to a piece of design: yes, no, and wow. Wow is the one to aim for. So I thought those were 3 really fun quotes to start out the semester, and you know, in also letting you know that we're here for you, and our 100% #1 goal is for you all to succeed. Okay, so I teach Intro to Interior Design, one of my 2 favorite classes in the entire program that I teach. I'm honored to be able to launch you on your interior design career. I just absolutely love the class, and I'm so happy Natalie's going to be joining me with one of the sections. But I teach a Wednesday section and a Thursday section. The class will be 100% remote. I've been working hard this summer to make sure that we still get to do a lot of the fun things that other students have done in the past in the class. So I'm feeling really positive about it. But intro is really your entry and introduction to the amazing profession of interior design. And we try to set some really strong foundation skills that you can carry forward in the program. So I see so many, well, every student here has been in my intro class in some way. So it's just an honor for me to be able to be the person that that kind of launches you in this exciting profession within this amazing interior design program. So is there any other information I should add, do you think? We good?
No, I think that was very good.
Thank you. Oh, MJ, you're muted.
The 3rd section of intro is going to be Natalie. So Natalie, if you want to talk about your class.
Yes, so I'm excited to join Professor O'Shea with her course that she's put so much time and effort into. We were discussing it recently, and I can tell you it's going to be a really great class. and we will be entirely online for the class, like Professor O'Shea. But the nice thing is our class will run concurrently with the Wednesday class Professor O'Shea has. So we will be able to do some joint activities, virtually listening to speakers, things like that. And I do feel it's a privilege to be able to start some of you off at the beginning of your interior design program. And it's a long time since I took this class, but there's an awful lot to learn, and I'm really just excited to learn it back along with you and re-energize myself too.
Okay, thank you, Natalie. The next class is me. I'm teaching 3 classes this semester, all 3 sections of AutoCAD. So there are 3 sections of CAD. I'm the only person that is teaching those. Now, most of you in the class are the ones that were in drafting last semester, but I did see a few new names on there for the transfer students or whatever. So all 3 CAD classes are going to be remote for the entire semester. We are not going to meet at all. But you guys know the only thing that you need is your laptop. And if you're in the market for a new laptop, make sure that you go to our website and look at the laptop requirements. We do not use Mac. We do not support Mac. I apologize for anybody that's a serious Mac user, but you need to be working on a PC platform. Now, if you can't afford to get it, if you are a Mac user and you can't afford to get a new laptop, make sure that you have Boot Camp installed on your Mac, so that you can run Windows on the other side of your laptop. And if you have questions about that process, you can send me an email and I will tell you how that's done as well. The other thing that you need for a CAD class is an architectural scale. We will actually be measuring things and then drawing them in CAD. But the good thing is, you know, for you guys that started with CAD in drafting class with me, I'm going to start completely from the beginning. All right, so I'm going to treat that class as if you know nothing about AutoCAD. And, you know, the videos that I used last semester were from the AutoCAD 2017 version anyway. And so it'll be good to have a fresh set of videos that are going to be based on AutoCAD 2021. So if you are installing CAD newly on your computer, you should get the latest version if possible. Okay. The next person up is Vanessa for internship prep. Vanessa, are you here?
I'm here.
Cool.
Hey guys, Professor Guevara, also a Kane alumni. I'm excited to meet some of you guys. I know none of you guys, so I'm excited to meet some of you guys. We will be meeting all remotely because it is a lecture course every Tuesday from 4:30 to 5:30. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll probably be emailing you out a Zoom link invitation that you can add to your calendar. Otherwise, just make sure you have your computer, some sort of Google Docs or working office system. And I can't wait to meet you guys. Bye.
That is one thing that I forgot to mention. My CAD classes are Mondays and Tuesdays. Anybody that has a Monday class, you know, we start on Tuesday, September 1st, and then the next Monday is Labor Day. So if you have a Monday class, you are not meeting for the first time until the 14th of September. So it's kind of like Monday classes are going to be 2 weeks behind everybody else because we don't usually ever start before Labor Day. Not exactly sure why this year they decided to start that early. Okay, let's see. After Vanessa, we have Miss Lombardi teaching Studio 2. Donna, you're here. Go for it.
Okay, hi. Some of you might also have me for construction materials and interior finishes. We'll talk about that in a minute. I have in the past had the opportunity to work with the students in either intro or Studio One. And so sometimes I know some of you, but in this case, I really don't know any of you. And so I'm really, again, looking forward to meeting you. And we'll go over everything the first day. The course is listed and will be remote the entire semester. But that doesn't preclude that we can do some one-on-ones. We did this in Studio 3 and it worked out really well. And we'll still do everything we can to make it really interesting, exciting, and we have some really great projects that we're doing.
Okay, thank you, Donna. Also teaching Studio 2 is Stephen Patrick.
Hello, everyone. I'm also a Kane alumni, graduated in '79, so I've got a 40-year relationship with Kane. Enjoyed every year of it, every aspect. I will be also teaching Studio 2 along with Professor Lombardi. And as far as what's already been said, I won't repeat it. However, I do want to emphasize that Studio 2 is a fun course. We are going to have fun. It's going to be a lot of creativity. We're going to stress creativity and a lot of exploration. That Studio 2 fits in a very nice spot for trying things out. And we instructors will keep you on track if you go too far, but we want you to enjoy it and learn from it because you have chosen a very enjoyable field to study and have a career in. I can say that from experience. So look forward to seeing you all in my class on Tuesday. Okay.
All right, thank you so much, Stephen. Okay, now there are 3 sections of architectural drawing and rendering. And the first instructor for that is Tim O'Neill. Tim, are you here? Tim is not here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
There's Tim.
You want to talk about your class? Tim is another alumni.
Sure. With the assistance of Natalie and Christine, who are the other 2 professors, I was being informal. I could use their formal last names. But we have put together this semester an extremely directed approach to what we want to bring across. Unlike many things you will do at Kane, this course has nothing to do with a computer in this 21st century. But that's important. I have a almost 30-year career in hand drawing. I call it old school, pre-computer. And I came to Kane to learn how to do everything on a computer. And I like hand drawing better. Maybe I'm just old school. At any rate, we have a great program we work very hard on. And kudos to Christine for being able to type about 10 times faster than I can. And we're pulling it all together. And it's going to be actually as Steve was saying, it's going to be fun. Markers, paint, pen and ink, all kinds of hand implements, not computer keys.
Now, are you wanting them to have that stuff on the first day of class?
We have sent out a list of all the materials, and it is quite a list. But we culled certain things out and added others in, and basically we put a lot of time into researching what was really needed, and we actually did the website chase to basically find the best quality material for the best price.
Great.
without having people spend more than they had to. And we even gave different suggestions for different levels of what you might want to get. At any rate, but you have the list. If anyone who is, I see a couple people, Mary, from another school. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact any one of your professors. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. As with anything education related, it will be, I won't call it intense. There is much to do, but a lot of fun doing it. I'll leave it at that, and you can bump it to Christine if she wants to comment.
Christine, so I mean, I assume you're running your class the same way, but if you just want to introduce yourself and talk about your particular, where you are in your career.
Sure. My name's Christine Imparato. I am also a Kane alumni. I've taught this class once before, so it's going to be interesting and fun to teach it with Tim. We've coordinated a lot more closely this year, so the three of us, Tim, Natalie, and myself, are all teaching our classes pretty much the same from week to week. My class is the Thursday night lecture or studio course, so it'll be 5 p.m. to 10:45 p.m. We're going to do a lot of Zoom meetings, a lot of Zoom critiques. So we're going to be constantly in communication with one another because it is a fully remote class. And I want to second that it's going to be fun. That's fun.
Okay, and the third architectural drawing and rendering teacher is Natalie again.
Here you go. So yes, like Christine and Tim, our class will be online. My section is the Friday day studio, running from 9:30 to 3:15. And I have to say, it's been so much fun collaborating with Tim and Christine. They have a really well put together program. And I can say I went to pick up the materials that I needed to add to my repertoire. And after doing so much computer work, I'm really looking forward to actually getting back to pen and paper and pencil and being creative in a very loose fashion rather than the more rigid AutoCAD and Revit style. So I'm really excited to collaborate with the class, following on from the collaboration with the other professors. So it definitely is going to be a lot of fun. Thank you.
Okay. The next class is materials and finishes. Now, this is one of the ones on CaneWise. There is only one section right now under Donna Lombardi's name, but in the next couple of days, there will be a second section of materials and finishes that will open. That will be taught on, what did we say, Thursday nights or Wednesday nights?
Wednesday night at 5 o'clock.
I'm sorry, which night?
Wednesday.
Okay, Wednesday night. So they're both classes are on Wednesdays. We tried to do that specifically. Okay, so Donna, did you want to talk about
Yes, so construction, it's actually construction materials and interior finishes. So there's a lot of construction involved in the materials, but this is my passion. Everybody knows that. I find it really exciting. It's a million products and it's a lot of information, but I really think that at the conclusion of this course, you're actually a different kind of designer. And I think I've had a couple people here that are now teaching, Tim, and some other ones here, Christine Imparato, who have had the class. And Tim, maybe you can just tell them what you think of construction materials interior. Is he on? Can you hear me? You're
I'm on now. I'm on now.
okay.
I'm slower than I used to be.
Yeah.
If you've ever walked on a construction site from the block framing through the finish, you will understand what goes into materials on every level, from floor finishes to walls to mirrors to glass, everything. And it's a great course, wonderful course.
Thank you, Tim. Anyway, so I'm really excited. I'm always excited about it. It's a lot of information, but it's exciting information. It's on, my section is on Wednesdays in the morning from, I think it's 8:45 or 9:30, whatever it is, 9 o'clock till 11:45. And Natalie's section will be in the evening on Wednesdays. And I'm looking forward to meeting all of you again.
Okay. Next up is Steve Patrick again for life safety codes.
Okay, it's me again. So life safety codes is probably not as much fun and creative as the studios. I am always amazed, however, at the end of class and even in later years that students come back to me and say they enjoyed it. So still amazed at that. It seems to be a lot of dry information at times, but it is important, and you will carry it through into your studio classes, into your designs when you're out in the field. And you know, it's just very important, and apparently it's interesting. So so that's a good thing. I will mention that it's completely remote, and I didn't mention that before with my Studio 2 class, but that is also fully remote. So that's a good thing, I think. And if it works as well as it all did last semester, we'll be in good shape. It was pretty glitch-free last semester. So looking forward to it. That's Friday morning. Thank you.
Okay. Next up is Brandon Balcom, who is teaching CAD 2. So CAD 2 is one of those courses that exists on Canewise, but it does not say who the professor is. So I am introducing him to you now. Brandon, are you here?
Yes, I am here. Good afternoon, good evening, or whatever you want to call it right now. I am Professor Brandon, Professor Balcom, Professor B, whatever comes out your mouth first. But as long as you you'll get my attention either way. But well, yes, I'll be teaching computer-aided drafting for Interiors 2, which teaches Revit. And just to give a little background for anyone that may not have seen my face or may not heard my voice or even know me, I see a couple of recognizable faces that I came across before. But I was a recent graduate from Keene as well, maybe the most recent from 2016. So I am pretty familiar with the classes that everyone may be going through with materials and finishes. Donna, even seeing Professor O'Shea, talking to her about some of the classes maybe I'm stressing about. So I was not too long ago in everyone's shoes, just trying to find my way, just like how everyone is at these current times. The only difference is that everything is pretty much going to be online this time, given the circumstances that we're dealing with. And what I can say as far as this, what we're dealing with is just take it one day at a time. Don't get too held up on what's due 3 days, 4 days, 5 days from now. If you just take it one step at a time, one day at a time, you'll just realize that you're more successful in just taking it one step at a time. Then you realize you're accomplishing more than accumulating everything due a whole week or 2 weeks later. So really just try to keep a positive attitude and just try to wake up with a smile on your face. But moreover, like I said, I'm teaching computer-aided design for Drafting Interiors 2, which is Revit. You could just be prepared to just learn a lot. It's just about Revit. I know every time I teach the class, there's always some people that may have touched the computer software a little bit. Some people are scared of Revit because of all of the capabilities that it has. But at the end of the class, everyone pretty much says that they really feel like they learned a lot and they're comfortable with using Revit. So just be prepared to just learn a lot. I also try to throw in other things as far as like architecture and interior design that you may not know. That pretty much should be like an important aspect to know. Classes will be held on Tuesdays from 5 to 10, about 10:45. But I mean, each class is going to be repetitive but different. Sometimes I like to call myself professionally unprofessional, but I believe that helped me just relate to all the students and just helps for a better learning environment. And I'm here to just work with everyone, all my students. Even if you're not my student, you're still part of the Keene family. So I'm still here just to help you, assist you, no matter what it is. And if anybody has any questions, then you can just reach out to me. And I will have a roster of all my students, so I'll reach out to them first if I can.
How do you respond to Professor Natalie's comment that Revit is rigid?
So Revit is what? I'm sorry.
She said that Revit was rigid. Classes like Revit are rigid.
It's rigid, but I mean,
I'm trying to stir it up.
Maybe you're not smart enough.
Revit is what you make it out to be. It's just like if you take little bites at it, and then you'll learn that in no time you eaten the whole pie. So if you take little chunks out of it at a time, then you'll be fine. It's just a lot in the program that you can get overwhelmed, but it's really simple once you just like taking it step by step.
Okay, good. Sorry, Natalie, didn't mean to throw you under the bus there. All right, now we're getting to the senior level classes. And of course, the big one is thesis. We have a lot of people that are going through, to me, what I think is one of the most important classes of your whole entire lives. And so there are two sections of thesis, and the first one is taught by Alan Horwitz.
Hi, everybody. I think it's making me smile that I'm following Brandon in commenting and greeting all of you, because Brandon was one of my students in Studio 4 a few years ago. One of my best Studio 4 students, I might add.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you.
And I've been teaching Studio 4 and its equivalent capstone course at some other colleges in the area for several years, and I find that the thesis experience is something that I personally gravitate to, because it kind of mirrors what has happened for me in my career. I am not a Kean alumni. I'm also not an interior designer by training. I'm an architect, a licensed architect. But if I had found that if I had taken sort of a rigid view of that description, I would have never gotten nearly as far in my career as I have progressed today. And even I currently run my own company, and anyone that works in my company, regardless of their training, whether it's architecture or interior design, are often involved in the same aspects of design and kind of shift gears and go back and forth between architectural projects as well as interior projects. And I think that's one of the great things that thesis can do, because it is intended to be comprehensive and draw upon all of the skills that you've been building and learning from the time that you first experienced Linda and her intro class all the way up through the final semesters of a professional interior design curriculum. And it just charges me up to be able to lead each of you individually in that exploration, because I think, as someone else just said, I think it was Brandon who said that it's really about learning who you are as a designer at this point. You've had an opportunity perhaps to experience work in the field, or certainly have been exposed to different types of design, whether it's corporate or hospitality or residential or whatever market sector you might find is attracting you. Now's the time to really start to say, if those are the things that are grabbing your interest more so than others, thesis is an opportunity to select a project of your own choosing that can draw you farther in that direction that you think you want to explore. And the thing that charges me up is being able to help guide each student individually through their own exploration of what's interesting to them.
Great, thank you, Alan. Now, so on CaneWise, if you are in the class that says it's being taught by Andrea, Andrea is replaced by Alan Horowitz. Okay.
I even have walk-up music. It's great.
Jeremy. Jeremy.
Oh my God. That was Cheetah Girls, Cinderella. I will be here 24/7.
Thanks, Jeremy. All right, so the other thesis teacher is, again, Natalie Holmes Mitchell.
Yeah, so I will start by saying for several years now, I've been lucky to be a mentor for MJ's thesis class, where I've been assigned to one of the students just to be an additional person to help guide through the process, in addition to the professor on the ground. So I've felt quite involved with the process. I have a good understanding of what it involves. And I've really been impressed at all the work I've seen from the entire classes of students at thesis night. So now I get to actually be the professor for the class, well, for one of them, alongside Alan. And I like to think that this is really the cherry on the top of your studio work. This is where you get to pick exactly what you want to do and pursue your interest, just like Alan described. So given that I don't know any of you students yet, I think this is going to be a really wonderful way to connect and get to know you. And given that it's such a major piece of work, I do think going back to this idea of self-motivation, it may seem a little daunting, but yeah, we're going to break it up into pieces, and it's going to be a lot of preparation and organization on your part, but really you've already been taught everything you need to know to do it. I'm just there to help guide you along, and I can't wait to see the ideas that you all are bringing for your own thesis project. Thank you.
And so for everybody that signed up for the thesis class that originally had my name on it, that's the class that Natalie is going to teach. So I'm not teaching thesis, but I will be overseeing the mentorship portion of it. So I will still be tied in very closely to the whole thesis process, which, by the way, thesis night is going to be 100% virtual as well. Okay.
Oh, and can I just add, sorry, MJ, I forgot to say, this is the one class of mine where it may not be entirely online, depending on how things develop through the semester and student interest. I'm certainly open to maybe having 1 or 2 studios on the ground if there is interest in doing that.
Okay, thank you, Natalie. Only 2 classes left. The next one is Studio 5, also known as Portfolio. So Professor O'Shea.
So I get to tell you now about my other favorite class to teach, was the bookend to teaching Intro to Interior Design. So in Studio 5, which is the portfolio development class, this is actually, it's usually offered only in the spring, but every few years we offer a section in the fall to help the transfer students that wouldn't need to come back for another whole semester. And I just wanted to say thank you for those students, few students who added up to make the course run, who kind of jumped in so to make sure that the course ran for the other students. I really do appreciate it. Regardless, we spend the semester developing, branding you as a designer, trying to express your design voice, putting together the best of your work, working on how to network, how to approach people in the profession, how to get a job, how to so it's really fun. And we also will have a small virtual portfolio review. But as I said, one of the nicest things for me is because the students that are going to be in the class will be students that I've met maybe 4 years ago. Usually in the spring, it's most of the students I've met 4 years ago. And it's such a joy to see how how at one time you thought intro was hard, right? And then 4 years later, what you've done and how you've grown and who you've become is just such a pleasure. So that's my other class this semester. And I did it remotely as I was thrust into the 21st century on March 18th last, when we went remote. And I do have to say it went seamlessly well. I felt like it really went well working with the seniors on their portfolio. So I'm really confident about that class that it's really just going to be, like clockwork. So looking forward to it, to working with all of you.
Okay, last but not least, Professor Powell teaching Photoshop, ITD 4121.
Hi.
Christine,
Yes, I'm glad I'm following Professor O'Shea. The class that I'm teaching, even though it's called Photoshop, it actually covers a vast number of programs, and it'll be involved in SketchUp, Photoshop, InDesign software, and also a photorealistic rendering software, which sounds like a lot, but we're going to take it step by step, and you're going to build your skills one program at a time, really, and because we're software based, so it's actually really easy to be taking this class remotely. And hopefully all of these skills will help you build your portfolio down the road, and also kind of give you guys a leg up in the field, and use the tools to sort of be able to communicate with other designers, because different firms use different softwares, and the more softwares you know gives you more, allows you to be noticed when you put something on your resume. So it will be a fun class. There's going to be a lot of stuff to learn. It's going to be a combination of live sessions as well as one-on-one, and maybe also some pre-recorded instructions as well. So, I am open to all students for any questions. So looking forward to getting to know everybody.
Thank you, Christine. And what I said before about the laptop requirements, that pertains to Christine's class as well.
Yes, that's very important. That's very, very important. Make sure you follow the program requirement, because a lot of the softwares that we're going to be using in the class are going to be very heavily relied on your graphics card. So please make sure that your laptop is, it has a dedicated graphics card that has the capabilities of running these graphic softwares. I will be sending out an email to kind of let everybody know what the requirement is in advance, so you can prepare for it. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me.
If you guys know anything about gaming computers, a gaming computer is really equivalent to what we need interior design, especially for the rendering part. That's the part that takes the most work on your laptop's part to get the stuff done. Okay, so that is the end of the teachers talking about classes, and I wanted to turn it next to the student side. And we have a club in the interior design program, and they are known as the Interior Design Student Organization. And I have President Nicole Badillo ready to talk to you about joining that group. Take it away, Nicole.
Hello, everybody. I'm a junior. My name is Nicole Badillo. This is my second year being the president. I joined when I was a freshman, and it ended up that all of the club was seniors, and they handed the baton off to me. We've been able to get some really cool stuff in order last semester to try and do stuff for the spring. But then COVID happened and everything kind of just like fell through. But we're definitely gonna try and do some cool things virtually. One thing we really wanna do is just make some new merchandise for us. So towards the end of the semester, we're starting to come up with designs. And like I said, then COVID happened and everything kind of just went down the drain. So if you guys have any ideas or you want to join the club, please email us at the Kane, what's it called? At the KU IDSO Instagram. MJ, if you could put that in the chat, that'd be awesome. And I'm going to introduce my e-board. So my president is me. The vice president is Grace. Grace, if you want to give a wave or just say hi, just so people can see your face.
Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you.
Grace, my secretary is Becca. I don't know if Becca's on here. Just give a wave. Treasurer is Emma. And our social media director is Jeremy, who is belting it out before. So yeah, we're just a really fun club. The reason this club is a thing is just to really be able to communicate with other people in our major, different ages. I've made some really cool connections with some of the younger classmen that are sophomores now. They've texted me for classes advice, what they should get, what they need, and it's just a really cool way just to communicate with the different people in our major and just try to grow connections, especially when you're older, maybe when we're all in the field and everything, and you know that somebody's really sufficient in one program and you've talked to them a little bit about it, you can offer them just maybe like, hey, this job's happening. It's just a really cool way to connect with people. But we're always looking for members. So please, if you want to join the IDSO, email us at kuidso@kane.edu. Follow us on our Instagram. Please, we post a lot of stuff about what's going on in the school, like the design school, the Michael Grace College, just everything that's happening. Follow us there. And I really think that's it. So yeah. We also, oh yes, one last thing. We are looking for a secretary for the spring semester. So if anybody wants to join the e-board and wants to get involved in that way, please also email us there, and we'll be holding elections to see who will be the fill-in for that. So please just let us know. Like I said, email us if you have any questions. We're all here for you. And yeah, that's about it. I think I covered it all.
Okay, thank you so much, Nicole. We're winding down. I just wanted to go over a few other advisement issues. So we covered all the interior design classes before. For those of you that are in independent studies, make sure that you get in contact with the professor directly, whoever's running your your independent study. And then I just want to, in case you haven't looked at your schedule lately, the construction documents class was canceled because of low enrollment, and the sustainability class was also canceled for low enrollment. So if you were previously enrolled in either of those two classes, you need to find something else to replace it instead. Sorry about that, but you know, the school can't run a class with less than 8 people. And those classes only got, I think, 4 or 5 students altogether. As I mentioned before, there will be a second section of materials and finishes opening, and I should be able to announce that within the next couple of days. So as soon as that gets on board, we're hoping that we can split up the 2 materials and finishes classes 50-50. So there are currently 36 people signed up, so we're hoping that it can be, 18 in one section and 18 in another. But there's no need to do anything about that until they officially announce the class. And if you don't remember, it's going to be Wednesday nights from 5 o'clock to 7:45 for that new section of materials and finishes. Otherwise, school's starting up next week. So if you have any other issues that need to be taken care of, such as your tuition or any forms that need to be filled out. I know there's also some people that are still trying to change their majors to interior design that I've been talking to.
Ricardo, don't do it.
Okay. I also mentioned before, any questions that you have about advisement up until September 1st should be sent directly to me. And let me just put my email in the chat. And that's for, for if your advisor is supposed to be Professor O'Shea, you would send your questions to me, even though she's your advisor, until September 1st. After September 1st, then you just talk to whoever your advisor is supposed to be. Lastly, about advisement, there is a section on the Kane website that has the academic calendar, which tells you the deadlines for adding and dropping classes. So for those of you, some of you that were nice enough to sign on to classes just so that we could run them, if you want to drop those, you have to do that within the first week. But otherwise, if it's just not working out with your schedule or you're being overwhelmed, there are certain dates that you have to drop classes or add them and not take a financial penalty for doing that. Okay, it's basically, I think, the first week or so of the semester. A couple other things to keep in mind have to do with policy. Because of this whole quarantine and COVID thing, attendance is going to be kind of a fluid concept. Now, we've been told from the Kane administration that we're not really going to be able to take attendance. But on the other hand, you guys also don't have the excuse that you ran into traffic on your way to class. You also cannot be walking in with your gigantic cups of Starbucks. So there also will not be snow days. So all different kinds of things to consider. Usually we almost have to plan for a snow day or two to kind of interrupt our semester, but that's not going to be an issue this year, again, unless they find some kind of magic vaccine within the next couple of days or weeks even. Okay, so again, that goes back to the whole self-motivation thing. We are not going to be taking attendance, but that doesn't relieve you from the responsibility of getting the information that you need to get and doing your assignments and handing them in on time. Okay. We had a faculty meeting yesterday, and one of the things that I stressed to each and every faculty member was the idea of not making this where everything that we give to you as the professors is recorded. So there is going to be a portion where we're either going to be live broadcasting or we have one-on-one FaceTime, virtually with you guys. And so we would like the favor returned that when you come onto your classes, that for at least some amount of time that you have your cameras on. So for instance, now, there's, about 100 people on this Zoom meeting right now, but only maybe half of you have your cameras turned on. So I'm talking to people's names on the screen. I think, it's nice, and it's really just a courtesy to have your camera on so that it can at least feel like the professors are talking to you, and then you are talking back to the professors as Nellie turns her camera back on.
He was hoping you didn't notice.
You just happen to be on the same row as
Nellie,
me.
you're looking so good. Why isn't your camera on?
Kept turning it back off. Sorry, okay, I'm here.
Okay, so it just helps us feel like we're not really doing this virtual thing. If we can at least see each other as a live action kind of thing. If we were to do this meeting through Google Meet, you guys are reduced to a dot on the screen. At least here on Zoom, it's a name. And another new thing that we are instituting is we are going to enforce the GPA minimum for your degree. Now, if you've not noticed what that is, to remain in the interior design program, you have to maintain a 3.0 GPA. Now that means higher than a C. A C is a 2.0. So what we're doing is at the end of the semester, we're going to make notes of who is below the 3.0 standard, and then you will have one semester to get your GPA up over that 3.0. If you cannot get your GPA up past 3.0, then you will be asked to leave the interior design program. Okay, you will not be kicked out of Kane, but you do have to choose another major at that point. If you don't know, the GPA minimum for Kane is 2.0. Okay, so if your GPA is so low that it's below 2.0, you'll not only be asked to leave interior design, you'll also be asked to leave Kane. And when I say asked, you're not going to be asked. Okay, so please, I just yesterday I received a list of what everybody's GPA is, and I am going to be sending out some emails to those of you that are on that kind of borderline, just so that we can make sure that we can figure out how to get you past that minimum. Okay, we are not trying to kick people out, but if you're struggling, we want to help you. Or if you're struggling, we want to know why and how it is that we could make your experience here any better. Okay, so that's all I have to say as the coordinator, and I wanted to turn it around to you guys now and do a question and answer session. So if you guys have questions, it's probably better if you type your question into the chat, and then the faculty will try to answer it in the order that it appears in the chat box. So does anybody have any questions or comments that they want to share with everybody? Is there going to be a pass-fail option? Yes, there is. I don't know if it's the same exact thing as last semester, but I know that there will be a pass-fail option, probably the same for a maximum of 2 courses only.
I think it's the same.
Okay.
I think it's the same policy.
Biomimicry is not technically part of interior design. It is run by one of the science departments, I believe.
It is part of design, and it was written by design and environmental sciences. So it was written as a collaborative course between both disciplines. So design is very heavy-handed in the development of the course. So does that answer your question, Rosie? So yes, there's a section for design and then a section for environmental. So it's split up to between 18 students.
But that one is a good one for eliminating your lab science requirement because it's a 4-credit class. Okay, but I did notice that it has a really low cap on it, only 9 students.
Well, it's 9 from design and 9 from environmental science.
Oh, okay.
Or 18, and it's a studio course. Okay. So that's why it's capped at 18. But it's very popular, so we might need to look into having another section of it, but.
Okay. There's a question about internships. That's actually a very good question. Most people think that all you have to do for your internship is to get the internship. That is incorrect. You also have to sign up for the class and not internship prep. So the class that Vanessa talked about is internship prep. That is simply 1 credit, and it's a class to help people get internships who don't already have them. But if you have an internship or you have one arranged that you know that you're going to be going, you still have to sign up for the class to buy. You're basically buying the credits. Now, it's not a lot of work, but you do have to give regular reports to the professor about what you're doing in your internships. And at the end, there's also a binder that's required that sums all of that up. But you do not have to do your internship in that semester. So if you've done an internship previous to the current semester, you can just recall your experiences and write that down. As long as you can have somebody that you work for verify that you actually did do the work at some point. Okay. Oh, wow. There's a lot of questions.
Yeah. The internship prep course is INTD 3000.
3001.
3001.
Yes.
Yep. So it's INTD 3000.
And so
Wednesday.
that's the confusing part is the actual internship class is DSN 3001.
So the internship prep is INTD 3001, Wednesday night, 4:30 to 5:30.
Okay, let me see if I can catch up here.
MJ, I think there's a question. Ashley asked, will we get an intro to who the professors are for DSN courses, like the foundation courses? The interior design faculty, we're not really that familiar with what the foundation course staffing is. I mean, we would do what you did, look on CaneWise. You know, we're not really that involved with those courses because there's 20 of them listed. So if you have questions, you can reach out to Chris Navetta. It's Chris Navetta, Navetta. His email will come up. He'll answer all your questions.
Kayla asked, is CAD 2 all remote for the semester? Yes. Haley, yes, you are still in IDSO. We don't have a membership fee, so if you want to be in IDSO, you just say, hey, I want to be in IDSO. What is the name of Sam's dog?
Yeah, beautiful dog.
Sorry, apparently he wanted to join in, but his name's Cooper.
It's beautiful.
Who could be our new mascot?
Pets are always welcome.
Amatula asked, are we using Google Classroom? So every professor is going to be doing their own thing based on what they're comfortable with. Some professors are going to use Blackboard. Some people are going to use Google. And I mean, there are other ones around too, but those are the two main ones. So when you start your first class, you'll get your professor will brief you on which format they're using. But from last semester, most of us used Google Classroom. Ashley, does GPA apply to first-time students? No, because your GPA is 0, so I'm not going to kick you out right now. It also doesn't really apply to seniors, so I mean, but you know, if your GPA does go below 3.0, Kane is going to automatically talk to you and not give you a diploma until you can raise it up. Yes, if it says remote on CaneWise, that means it will be remote for the whole semester. That's what, like, if it says face-to-face or hybrid, you can be all remote. But if it says remote, you cannot go the other way and have some face-to-face. It's not allowed. Materials and finishes is junior level, correct? Right?
Correct. I would also state that if for some reason someone's in materials and finishes and they're simultaneously trying to take CAD, intro to CAD, CAD 1, it's a really challenging thing to do that. You're going to be in a difficult position and you need to consider that.
Sarah asked about studio classes being on Zoom. That's again up to the particular professor if they're going to use Zoom or not. For me specifically, in AutoCAD, I am going to be using Zoom just because I find it easier than Google Meet. And also I can see more faces at a time.
Well, MJ, I think what Sarah's asking is if the classes from 9:30 to 3:30 will be on Zoom. Will we be on Zoom for 3:30 to 9 or 9:30 to 3:30 daily? Is that what you're asking, Sarah? Whoever Sarah is.
But again, if I could answer that question generally, that's another thing that's up to each particular professor. You know, your classes are 6 hours, but no professor talks for 6 hours straight. So don't worry about that. There's a lot. There is, you know, a lecture portion, but there's also your desk crit time. Even virtually, we can still do desk crits.
Absolutely.
Okay, so as professors, we do count on the studio time as time for you to work on things. Okay, we do not talk at you for 6 hours. I couldn't even do that if I wanted to. Internship is only a requirement for the 120 credit program. That's one of the major changes. When we switched from 131 credits to 120 credits, everybody was required to do an internship. So that's answering Lisette's question. Professor Shea answered this one from Ashley about the foundation courses. Vanessa, what time is the internship prep class? or Professor O'Shea?
It's 4:30 to 5:30 on Wednesdays.
Yeah, so it's just 1 hour a week. Will there be emails sent out about IDSO? Yes, and Instagram, both emails and Instagram posts about them. This Form 1, oh yeah, so those are through the design department. This meeting was for only interior design. And this semester, actually, we don't even have any interior design professors teaching the foundation courses. So that's why I didn't have anybody from those departments come and speak to you guys. There's a lot of them too, so I wouldn't really have been able to get everybody on board with that. What's the ID number for internship at? So you asked that, INTD 3001. Will most professors reach out before classes? Yes. We just had a meeting about that yesterday. Najee, any advice on being able to attend a face-to-face class? Oh, I have no idea. I don't really even know how they're going to do it for the people that are living on campus, to say how commuters are going to be handling that. I mean, if anything, so how many face-to-face classes do you have, Najee? Oh, wow.
Yeah, one.
Yeah, I think that's just the kind of thing where you're going to have to find a place of your own, whether you park yourself outside on the grass or something, or I don't know.
MJ, I would recommend that Najee directs her question to Dean Money.
Right.
You know, he might have a better idea of how the facilities are being set up. The faculty really doesn't have a lot of information. So maybe there's a place like, yes, go to Green Lane Building, 4th floor, conference room, something like that. Because we don't really know we don't really know the status of the Green Lane Building or anything on campus, really. So I would, if you could put Dean Money's address, I think, or email, I think Najee, I would reach out to him. You're welcome.
And Irene, yes, well, everybody does thesis. So second degree and transfer students, thesis is always the fall semester. So most transfer students take it the 3rd semester that they're here, as well as the second degree students as well. Nobody comes in and takes thesis right away. That's always the end of the line process. Okay, anybody else? How long does internship have to be in order to, that's a good question.
A minimum of about 6 hours a week for a semester.
Yeah, preferably for the entire semester.
But there's flexibility there. So, and also on that note, and I'm sure Vanessa will talk to you about it if you're in the class, but and I know all the students that are in intro are ASID members, right? We signed you up last year. So ASID has virtual internships. They're offering ASID student members virtual internships. So I would check that out on the ASID website. So if you're seeking an internship, there's ways that different design firms and designers are doing that virtually. So might be kind of interesting.
For the upcoming classes that are going to be looking for internships, you know, it's not a great climate to be where there's a lot of jobs around. So, you know, if you do find yourself in the position where you just absolutely can't find an internship, one of your options is to do an independent study. All right. So, you know, if you get to that point, you should talk to your advisor about that, and, you know, we'll obviously work something out. We're not going to not let you graduate just because you missed one class. Also, too, I want to say for people that do get internships, please, please, please be careful about people that are taking advantage of cheap labor. The actual definition of an intern is that you're not supposed to be doing something that a regular worker would get paid for. So there are places that kind of feed off of universities and students, you know, not recent graduates, but, you know, students that are ready to go out into the working world, and just use them for the internship time, and then they just drop them and then move on to the next intern. Make sure that you're going to get an internship that you actually learn something from. And so it only qualifies as an internship if you're working for an established interior designer, but preferably a registered certified interior designer or a registered architect. Okay, so, you know, working at Home Depot does not count as an internship. Working at Joann's Fabric does not count as an internship. You need to be in the presence of a designer or an architect. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. 1 week until the first class.
Yay.
I hope you guys are excited as we are. I personally am just dying to get back to normal. Oh, wait. Can you repeat who we should intern for? Whoever you can get.
No.
There's not a lot out there right now.
As long as they're professional.
Yes, as long as they are professional.
No class.
Memorial Day. We already passed Memorial Day.
No. Yeah, that's right. Labor Day.
Labor Day. But Columbus Day in October it's a state holiday, but we do have classes on Columbus Day. Okay. Is that it?
Be well, everybody. See you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. Have a great rest of the summer, the next 7 days. And we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Take care.